In today's episode, we review the beautiful short story, The Paper Menagerie by Ken Liu. This story is available for a free listen by the fabulous LeVar Burton, who reads the captivating story on his pod, LeVar Burton Reads. I have links for Spotify and the Apple Podcasts below, but you can Google and he's on all the platforms. While it's a beautiful story, The Paper Menagerie tackles difficult subjects such as racism, death of a parent, and wanting to shy away from your heritage. We are by no means the best at tackling these tough topics, but we do our best. If anything that is said is insensitive, please know we had our best intentions and are always willing to hear feedback and learn. Thanks for joining.
Okay, so this is what happened within the last 90 minutes. We've been getting like a lot of like really good hits on The Housemaid. The podcast is like picking up steam. And I'm like, you know what? I should take to Reddit and see if I can, do a little cross promotional, maybe start a discussion, get some people's opinions, whatever. So in our series of unfortunate events episode, we all kind of got this group ick of Olaf wanting to kind of marry Violet in a sexual way. And we had kind of ended the podcast thinking that it didn't really add a whole lot to the story. And it was just kind of gross. So I basically asked that question very nicely in Reddit. And let's see. So that's what I said. I was like, we just finished book 1, Bad Beginning. And I found Olaf's desire to marry Violet giving me the ick. There are several instances where, in my opinion, it is clear Olaf does not plan his marriage to Violet as a contract only. And then I say Olaf and his lackeys reference Violet's pretty face and looks, and Olaf attempts to whisk Violet away for, quote, their wedding night, etc. And then I said, Olaf is supposed to be despicable, but I found he was plenty despicable without this thread. It felt gratuitous, unnecessary to convey Olaf's evilness. Not sure the right words. What are your opinions? And then I put on a side note about the Baudelaires having such a crappy will. And I was like, that's kind of crazy that they never mentioned that.
All good points.
Okay. That feels benign and like open to discussion. I don't know. What do you think?
I thought that sounded like a normal Reddit comment. Yeah, it sounds like it would spark a good conversation. But I do feel like depending on which thread you're in, you could get different Redditors.
Well, this is true. So someone said it's supposed to be icky and gratuitous. No, like it's literally a series about a dude who wants to murder orphans to steal their fortune. And I basically reiterated what I said the first time. I was like, I get that he's supposed to be evil, but it felt like maybe too evil. Anyway, then someone said, maybe reading the dictionary to review on your podcast would alleviate you, quote, getting the ick.
Oh, what?
And I said, thank you for the helpful advice.
Oh my goodness. Wait, reading a dictionary?
Yeah.
Because we don't understand what evil means?
Because I think we said ick. There's a lot of people that got the ick from me saying ick. Because someone said, what does ick mean? And I said, someone defined it. And I said, yes, sorry, just a millennial trying to be trendy. And I got -5 for that.
Oh, what?
I was like, oh my God, maybe the fans of a series of unfortunate events are very evil. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, if you're a fan of bad things happening to small children, you might not be a good person.
Part of me was like, I need to delete this so they don't find Bookalicious Pod and give me a -5 on our reviews. We don't have enough for that.
Whoa. Okay. I'm flabbergasted for a lot of reasons. One of which is that all my Reddit searching found the opposite. That's where I heard that idea the most, was people were like, hey, this is kind of weird now that I'm reading it as an adult. And I don't know. This subreddit seems to be the opposite.
I mean, I was like, I really hope they don't listen to the pod where all we do is bash the author.
Oh my gosh.
You know why? It's because this podcast is woke. That's the issue.
I
They're
guess
taking
so.
exception, Candy, to your coastal elite tendencies.
I mean, I don't know. I have never experienced that because for every book that we've done, I've done a similar flavor, kind of mentioned, hey, we're doing this podcast, reading this book. What are your thoughts? Something like that. And I've done it for lessons in chemistry. I did it for Elantris. I don't think there was one for the housemaid, but I've never gotten this level of like vitriol and, and anger, you
Have
know?
you have you gotten this much response before on another post?
No, normally I'll get like, a handful of comments here or there, but I mean, it's always been neutral or positive. If someone had something negative to say, I guess they just like keep scrolling.
Oh my god, not the Lemony Snicket people.
No, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I just made this account. Now I have negative points.
Oh.
Now I won't be able to post anywhere.
Oh wait, that's how it works?
Sometimes, yeah, I'm gonna have to go like, get on my hands and knees and beg for some little karma points.
Wait, can you send it to me? I can like your thing.
Yeah, and
Oh
maybe
my
downvote
gosh.
everyone else. I couldn't believe it.
That's so wild. I'm looking
I
this up now.
know. But
They may
2,500
not be
people
even
have
real
seen it.
people that you're talking to. They could just be bots, Candy.
I don't know. They seemed like real people to me.
I know. But you were just talking to, a chat GPT API created by a troll.
It could be. It could be. Yeah, I got a lot of downvotes.
Thank you.
I know. That's all I can say. I was like, thanks. I was just really shocked by that, especially the one about the reading the dictionary. I thought that one was just like, why? That's so rude. I
Well,
thought we were here to talk about the book.
what really would have been funny is if instead of saying that, he said something like, you use the word evil, which in this case means blah, 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 blah. And like, did it Lemony Snicket style?
It's a very active sub. So I think they only like to talk about positives about the book, no critiques.
Send it to me.
I just did
Where?
on the text.
Oh.
Candy,
Yeah.
maybe they don't see you as like some kind of coastal liberal elite, but rather some like backwoods hick. And it's because you are against the love a man might have for a younger child and how he was born like that and how that kind of love is just, it's his preference. So why you hating?
Yeah. Well, someone brought up a good point, and I liked this comment. They said something to the effect of, when I was a young girl, who knows if it was a girl, to Sam's point, maybe it's a young man writing this, but they said, when I was a young girl, men would hit on me and be inappropriate, especially when I was like 14, 15. And then I was thinking about it too after we had finished talking about the book last time, is that for some people, if they don't have like a good home life or good mentors, they might get a lot of their value system or ways of the world through books. And so it might be good in some instances to, display the pure depravity of people. And that was kind of the type of comment that I was looking for. Something to have a discussion about.
Candy, you remind me of Pam going to Ryan in the office, asking his opinion about her comic book, and then he starts to give her this like in-depth critique, and she was like, "Oh, well, I was kind of looking more like for you should make the font bigger or add a color here." And Ryan says to her, "Well, it seems like you already know what you're looking for," and so maybe that's part of it, right? Like you had in mind a response that you wanted to get. And then instead, you were exposed to the troll bots of the internet.
Yeah, well, I guess what I was expecting to get would be someone to say their opinion, like I asked for, like, what do you think? And then they would say, this is what I think. And then I would say, oh, that's a good point, or oh, what about this? And then we would have like a discussion. That's where I was anticipating it to go, not to a place of name calling.
Oh my gosh.
That's how new you are to the game, girl. That's how new
I
you are to the
know,
game.
Maybe.
I'm sure there's
Me-
some Olaf heads with a tattoo that says Olaf is my king, and they're just upset at you.
yeah. So Chrissy, you're looking at it. What do you think?
Okay, I need to get off of this.
It's very
Um,
negative, right?
It is. Well, okay. Yeah. So the stuff on yours, there are definitely some pretty negative ones. I don't know why there's so much hate for the word ick. I didn't realize that was such a I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory what that word means.
Well, you know what? I guess the people on this particular sub are very like, what's the word? Pedantic.
Yeah, they wouldn't tell you to use a dictionary if you used a word like that on your post.
Well, you know what? I don't even know what that word means, but I was hoping if I said it, you would give me some validation.
That does mean something to do with words.
Yeah. Doesn't that mean like wordy or something? Or
Well,
like
I mean, it's like
teetery?
talking down to someone. That's how I understand it. What you should have done, Candy, is that when you said the word ick in your post, you should have done a Lemony Snicket style, like parentheses about what that word means in this context.
I didn't know that that was the word that I needed to define. Okay, so
Well,
okay, no, I think this is right. Pedantic is someone who's too concerned with literal accuracy or formality.
I was thinking that could describe all of us. When we start splitting apart words.
in one sense, you could say based on that, Candy, that you are pedantic, that you're so focused on these people replying to your conversation starter that you can't arrive at their um, non sequitur insults towards you.
All right, what's non sequitur? I've seen it. There was a comic on it that does not follow. Okay, a conclusion or statement that does not logically follow from the previous argument or statement. So you're saying that I put in a benign comment and then they just did this non sequitur of saying mean things to me?
Yes.
Okay.
Like it was non sequitur in that it was not like an insult based on the logic of what you had said. It was just them trolling you.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, oh my God. I know. And it sounds like I'm just like circling the drain, but this literally happened an hour ago. So I was just like, I can't believe it.
I wonder if you come back like tomorrow, how it'll change. Because maybe more people come in here and be like, no, actually, I thought the exact same thing. What are you guys saying? I don't know.
We have no idea. But if our reviews go down, we know what's happened.
Listen,
I know.
there's a whole separate meeting to be had about like how Reddit's terrible, and when they destroyed Apollo last year, that I totally bailed on Reddit. I was like, this corporation does not deserve my attention.
They destroyed Apollo?
What?
Yeah,
Is that?
you'd have to be a real Reddit head to know what's up with that.
Oh, is that like this special app or something so you didn't have to see their ads?
Wait.
All sorts of things. It was just a really great app to interact with Reddit, and they changed their API policy, and it was a whole deal. And Reddit was being a bunch of Redditors protested by shutting their subs down, moderators, and then they killed all the mods and made new people mods. And
okay,
I know. I was like, I'm done with you.
I know, but you know what? I'm willing to do what it takes to market this pod. I'm willing to take the beating if that's what it requires.
Well,
except just kidding, because I'm never going back to that sub.
Yeah,
but
we need 5-star reviews here.
If you have not done
this
so
isn't
now,
the advertising we need.
Yeah, we need you before the Redditors come and try to snatch my wig. Like, don't. We need 5 stars galore. We need written on Apple saying how good it is and how you like our opinions and discussions.
Oh my gosh. Wow, so funny. Okay, well, we'll need an update on that. Oh, wow. I just checked our email. Have you checked that?
Yeah, it's like 10 million emails from Reddit.
I didn't know that's how this worked.
Yeah, so not only do I have to see it in the app, I get to see the root email. I get to open up the root email and then I get to look at it in the app with all the downvotes next to it.
See it in context.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think that's all we have for fun and games. Are we ready to go to Bookalytics?
Let's do it. Oh, I guess I'm supposed to share my screen.
Yeah, we have some big news.
We do.
We're taking off.
I love it.
Bookalicious is flying.
Until Reddit tears us down.
They're gonna come and try to snatch our wig, but we're not gonna let them.
Is snatch our wig an actual saying, or did we get that from Elantris?
So what is snatch your wig? I think it is from RuPaul's Drag Race, and it's when one of the drag queens snatches one of the other drag queens' wig off,
funny.
and it like surprises them. But I kind of just like to use it to mean someone's coming for me. Like I'm just going down the runway and they're gonna snatch my wig.
Sounds like you appropriated that term from people who are deserving of it.
It's possible. And if it's not appropriate, someone can let me know and I'll expunge it from my rhetoric. But
oh no.
As of now, it's just for lulz. All right, let's do it.
They're gonna oh shoot. What was I gonna say? Oh, I said they're gonna let us know with down votes and 0-star reviews.
Oh God.
All right. Ready for Bookalytics?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, this is very exciting. We have a lot of things to share, like Candy said. One, our Spotify impressions are back up to where they were when we mentioned Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Wow.
But these are
we're
real.
On Taylor Swift level.
Yeah. We're not even riding her coattails anymore.
No, we made our own coattails. Sewed them up. Tied them together. Okay, we have some new followers, and
yep. we have like 10 new followers since we started Housemaid.
That's
amazing. Really big. Yeah.
Wow. Some new countries, I think. The UAE and Nigeria, are they both new?
Yep, and Australia.
Cool.
Whoa, I think there's some more.
I don't even remember anymore, honestly.
No, I think those are the new ones.
Okay.
We're almost state to state.
We almost are. Do you know how many states we have?
I don't know, but we don't have Alaska yet. So if someone has a friend in Alaska, ask them to listen so we can complete our map.
We do have Hawaii. Okay, let me. Oh no. Where did the things go? Oh, okay. We have 37 states.
37. We're 37. Really close.
Yeah. That's super close. I don't really know which ones we're missing other than Alaska. That's the big one. When we have Alaska, we win. We need to go on the Alaska subreddit.
That's going to be our bingo.
That's our middle space.
I think Atlanta was our middle space because that's me. I mean, Georgia. I keep calling Georgia Atlanta.
What else matters in Georgia other than Atlanta?
Yeah. And in every state, we have like a lot more in different cities and stuff. So just across the board. We're
spreading.
Yeah. If you open up the first Housemaid, I want to show you the first Housemaid. If you go there.
You mean the one that has quadruple the number of plays as all of our other episodes? Whoa, look at how many 20,000 Spotify impressions in the last 30 days. Whoa, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people.
You know what? That's okay.
A lot of people start listening and immediately stop, but it still counts as a play. And that's really all that we're trying to do here.
I also doubt the validity of this thing, personally.
I don't know.
Who knows? Because we also have consistent plays, you know?
Yeah.
Like number 1 has a lot, but number 2 and 3 and 4 also have a lot. So like I imagine people keep listening.
Yeah. I don't know. And median's kind of a hard number versus the average. Median can.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
Chrissy, are you saying that the plays are stolen?
No, that's not what we're saying at all.
What?
I
Is
think
that a baseball
we
reference?
should riot. No, it was a political reference.
Oh. Same. Was there anything else you wanted to show here, Candy?
No, that's it.
Wow. Anything you want to share here, Sam?
No, I'm impressed. Way to go.
Thank you.
Really?
Thank you.
Yeah, this is much better than what it used to be.
It was been here since the beginning.
But yeah, we almost have
so
800
funny.
plays.
Yeah, that's great.
I
Yeah.
know.
What was our number if we got to 1,200 in 30 days or something?
I think it's 1,000.
1,000.
In
I
30
thought
days.
something and then we get sponsored by Spotify.
It's a lot more than where we're at.
Well, keep listening, people.
Yeah. Tell a friend. Oh, I was like researching how to promote your podcast. And they said something like 70% of all podcasts are recommended via word of mouth.
You know, that is where I find most of my podcasts.
Yeah. So me going to Reddit and getting an emotional beating actually doesn't help us at all.
I appreciate your efforts nonetheless, though.
Yes. Any updates on school, Chrissy? You find out your placement Friday?
Yep. We'll
Okay.
see. It's a crazy week.
Ugh.
Wild all around.
Do you just like wait for an email? Or is there like a website that updates?
It's so crazy. A little bit of both. So how some schools do their match day, they have like a whole match day party and everyone goes, and at some schools you get called up one by one and you're handed this envelope and then you open it in front of everybody. And it's like all your classmates and then all your families, and you find out on the spot, on stage, on camera where you're going the next 5 years, and you may or may not be happy about it. Which sounds awful. I don't think all schools do that.
It's like getting sorted into a house, and then you hear Hufflepuff, and you're like, oh.
Dang it.
Do you think there are some Hogwarts like families where it's like if you got sorted into the wrong house, like if Malfoy got sorted into Gryffindor, would they be like, you're out?
I mean, that was Sirius Black, right? Like he got sorted into Gryffindor. And his whole family was like Slytherin.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sam had an answer. I didn't know that. I had forgotten. Okay, would it have been worse if he had been put into Gryffindor or into Hufflepuff?
Probably Gryffindor because they're like
rivals.
Yeah, Hufflepuff, they'd be like, you're a dud. We can live with that. Gryffindor, you're a traitor.
Yeah. Blood traitor.
Yeah.
Ravenclaw, you're just confused.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a lot of notes.
Oh, very good.
For our author.
Oh, good. I meant to ask if you had done that because I said I can do it, but I never asked and I never did it.
Okay, good. Well, by saying I have a lot of notes, it actually isn't that much at all.
You have the Wikipedia summary?
I have the Wikipedia summary and I clicked a few links throughout Wikipedia. So that's as far as this went. Don't re-quote any of this information to someone else because it's really not verified. It's just my clickings around. Okay. Sniffly. Okay, so the book that we're going over today is The Paper Menagerie, and that is a short story by Ken Liu. And he was born, and I'm sorry, I'm going to say all these words wrong, but I'm going to do my best. He was born in Lenzhou, China, and he spent his childhood with his grandparents because his parents are very accomplished. His mother has a PhD in chemistry, and she became like a pharmaceutical engineer, and his father is a computer engineer. His family immigrated to the US when Liu was 11 years old. And while he was here, he ran cross country and track in high school. And then he went to Harvard and he got a dual major. I thought this was surprising, in English, lit, and computer science.
What a crossover.
I know.
So this boy's a genius.
He just gets more genius as we go. Like with Lemony Snicket, as we went down the page, I was like losing a little bit of respect as we went. This, I just gained more and more.
Dude, it's such a well-written story.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited to talk about how well written it is.
Yeah, beautiful story. So after he graduated from Harvard with his dual degree, he worked as a software engineer at Microsoft. Then he decided to get his JD at Harvard Law School in 2004.
Why not?
And then after he got his JD, he became a corporate lawyer specializing in tech litigation. And I was like, what a way to put all of these things together to make it look like this was the plan from the beginning. His first short story was written, I think, in 2002, and it's called The Carthaginian Rose, and that's about mind uploading. And that was very popular. His Wikipedia said that he wanted to become a writer so that he could turn values upside down and inside out to gain new perspectives. So a lot of his books have some kind of like mystical fantasy sci-fi element to it. He has written for the Star Wars universe, and he was a Chinese translator converting Chinese books into English. And I thought that was interesting. And then several of his works have been converted into short animations and films. So that's all I had about Liu, but his Paper Menagerie, it was the first work of fiction to win these 3 awards, the Nebula, Hugo, and World Fantasy Awards. I don't know a whole lot about the award space, but this was touted every time I was looking at the Paper Menagerie. So I'm imagining this is like the EGOT.
I think this was the only book to win those 3 awards in the same year, or maybe ever. I think I read that somewhere.
I think it said ever, but
might be ever.
We don't have facts here, so don't quote us.
We don't.
Okay. Some of the quotes on this story, it's been called masterclass, magnificent, poignant tale, and it's been praised as it explores immigration, identity, and culture with heart, joy, and brevity. Okay. So this led me into a wormhole of the Cultural Revolution in
yes,
China.
That was a long Wikipedia page. I remember clicking on that one.
Yeah. So this kind of turned into like a whole lot of Chinese history, which I only spent an hour doing this, so I definitely don't have nearly enough coverage for it, but these were just the highlights that I got. So the reason why I'm even talking about the Cultural Revolution, because spoiler, in the story, Jack's mom comes to America and her family was displaced because of this event. So Cultural Revolution, it is a revolution that Mao Zedong launched, and it ran from 1966 to 1976. The goal was preserving Chinese communism and purging remnants of capitalist and traditional elements from Chinese society. It didn't accomplish all of their goals, but it did accomplish bringing Mao Zedong back to power. So Mao, he had previously been in charge, but he was kicked out because he had started this thing called the Great Leap Forward, and he was focusing on turning China into this like industrial giant, which I think in some ways did work out, but it also caused this huge famine, which people say is the worst famine in modern history. So a lot of Chinese people were dying and they were really upset, obviously so. So that's how he got booted out. And then a couple of years later, he comes back with this revolution, and then they say, we forgive you, you're back in. So before the Cultural Revolution, so right before, Mao started the socialist education movement. And this was kind of the precursor to the Cultural Revolution. And so this goal was to purify politics, economics, organization, and this one I thought was very interesting, thought. So purify your thought. And so he wanted to, quote, lift the lid on the class struggling in rural China. And it started out as a way to educate young people on how rural Chinese people were living and, quote, exposing ox demons and snake spirits working against socialism. And I didn't have time to figure out what that meant, so I just wrote it down. And then this ultimately ended up with Mao getting frustrated because people were resistant to his movement, and it deteriorated his relationship with the Chinese president at the time. And so I think that's why he probably started the Cultural Revolution to take over. Let's see. So the Cultural Revolution is referred to as the 10 years of chaos or 10 years of havoc. Mao, at the beginning of this, encouraged a rebellion, which led to the Red August, and that had a total of 10,000 deaths and 85,000 families being displaced in that month. And so that was like a really bad, sad time where people were just, uprising and rioting, and there was just a lot of death, a lot of displacement. And then throughout the 10 years, the death total is estimated from the hundreds of thousands to the millions throughout that 10-year period in the Cultural Revolution. And that's it. Those are my notes.
It's a lot of things.
Good notes.
Yeah, I liked reading up on the Cultural Revolution because I think it does provide a little bit more context to an area of the world that I'm not familiar with, and gets kind of touched on in this book, or the short story, I should say.
Yeah. I read up on mail order brides.
Oh,
did you read up on that?
No. Mm-mm.
Well, we could talk about it later, but that had come up. That was one of the links on. I was reading the Wikipedia on the Paper Menagerie, and one of the links was to mail order brides. And I had heard the term before, but I didn't really know what that was. But I mean, like I had an idea of what it was. I don't really have a good summary for it. I just wanted to share that I learned about it. Are you familiar with the term?
Gosh. Mail order bride? Yeah.
Do you know, I don't know. I guess, okay, so some surprising things that I learned. It's kind of what we see in the story is that it's women in developing countries seeking men from more developed countries. But it sounds like there's 100 to 150,000 women advertise themselves as mail order brides globally, and of these, 4,000 to 6,000 are married to American men. So I guess it's still going on.
I guess it's kind of. I don't know. I think part of the issue with it, and I don't know, I'm just speculating, is that I think this could lend itself to a lot of like human trafficking. Probably.
Yeah.
Anytime
for
you're
sure.
selling people, I don't know that would just be my hunch. And I know that there's like, in terms of being considerate of how other people are feeling, like you don't want to say like mail order bride or child bride to anyone of like Asian descent, because it's kind of like a dig a little bit.
Yeah.
With like kind of racist undertones.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. So it looks like it still is a thing. And yeah, I think you're exactly right. Sometimes it's like the woman totally wants to do this and she's like, this is what I want to do. But then it can definitely lead to human trafficking.
Yeah.
Very concerning.
Mm-hmm. So we learned about this from Sam. He introduced this fabulous podcast. I didn't look up the name. Do you remember what it's called, Sam?
LeVar Burton Reads.
LeVar Burton Reads. And he just reads to you. And he has a wonderful voice. And I listened to this. I didn't read it with my eyes. I just listened to it. And it was fabulous. He did the whole short story in 90 minutes maybe?
Oh, less than that. It's only like 50 minutes.
Oh, 50 minutes.
It's even less than that because you can take out the ads.
Oh,
I listened to it right before this. I re-listened to it.
So how did you find out about it?
I just found the LeVar Burton podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I just stumbled across it, and it was like one of the stories that had been recently put up, and I pressed play, and I actually listened to it when I was in Atlanta, maybe the first time a couple of years ago.
Oh.
Or maybe the second time. But I listened to it and I remember like crying. Like I was like, man, this is so moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So LeVar Burton, I'm looking at his podcast. He has 4.9 rating out of 16,000 views. I think that's the highest I've ever seen.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, just a really fabulous podcast that I would recommend anyone to take a listen to.
Did you cry when you listened to it, Candy?
I think I felt like my eyes get hot, the stinging, as they say, but I did not roll a tear down. What about you?
I think I felt the same. I felt like the urge to cry. And I think if I thought about it more or sat with it more, I probably would have.
Mm-hmm.
But I was avoiding.
Yeah. To me, it's mostly such a bummer, and we'll get into it. And even as the son does his redemption arc, it's not full redemption,
No, it's dealing with the messiness of life,
Mhm.
right? And breaking things that you don't realize how valuable they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unless it's Obi-Wan Kenobi, because an Obi-Wan Kenobi doll is definitely worth more than what your dad paid for your mom.
That for our readers and listeners who have not read, that is a reference to the short story. That is not a joke Sam made up on his own.
No, that is like a direct quote.
It is a direct quote. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. So how do we want to break this short story up, Chrissy?
This isn't a multi-part episode?
No. I'm like, in terms of like the section, normally we do like a section at a time and talk about it, or we can just talk about the whole thing since it's short.
It is pretty short. Let's just do a summary of the whole thing first.
Okay.
To get the whole idea.
Would you be good to do that? Because I haven't looked at this since I listened to it a couple weeks back.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'll do my best, but everyone should pipe in.
Okay.
Okay. So the Paper Menagerie. We never did our intro.
Oh.
Hello.
All right, we'll do it now.
Welcome. This is Bookalicious, a podcast where two sisters and a brother chat about books we're reading. I'm Chrissy.
I'm Candace.
Oh, you're waiting for me. I'm Sam.
Come on. Like it's your first time on the show.
Our number one naysayer of our pod being too long.
I'm so sorry. I did that bad.
It's okay.
That's
Finish
okay.
it up, Chrissy.
All right. Today we're talking about the Paper Menagerie, which is a short story by Ken Liu. And so, brief summary: it's about a boy named Jack, and he has an American dad and a Chinese mom, and his I guess what would be the right term for it? I guess his dad found the mom by flipping through a catalog. They met a few times, and then he paid to have her move over to America. Is that the best way to explain it?
I think this is,
Yeah,
by definition, like what quote unquote mail order bride is.
Right.
Like,
I just don't know if there's a better term, but that's
if
just
there's
what
a
it
better
is.
term, write in. We don't know it.
We don't know it. Yeah. Please explain. But anyway, so they get married and they live in Connecticut. And then they have a son named Jack, who's the narrator of the whole story. And when Jack grows up, his mom folds him these beautiful origami animals, and she breathes life into them, and they actually play around. And they're some of Jack's like closest friends, and they play and just do all the fun things together. But as Jack gets older, he starts making more American friends, and he has some, friends or classmates who start making fun of him for his Chinese heritage. And it just points out the differences between him and his classmates. And he decides that he doesn't want to be Chinese anymore. He wants to be American. And so he starts separating himself from his mom and from the origami and from all of his Chinese background. So the distance between his mom and him keeps growing throughout the years. He goes off to college, stops speaking Chinese. Oh, he also wants his mom to stop speaking Chinese too. So not only does he want to become more American, he wants his mom to become more American. So that goes on, and then the story ends with his mom being really sick. He comes back to visit her in the hospital. She, let's see, I'm getting rambly now.
No, I think this is good. One of the big things that you missed though was the paper menagerie component.
Oh, that's
So
right. I
if you
guess I
touch
did
on
forget that.
Yeah, if you touch on that, I think it'll help you get to the end.
Okay. Yeah. So one of the things that his American friends point out to him is that he doesn't have real toys. He just has these paper origami things, and that's actually just trash. And so then Jack gets upset at this, and he ends up crumpling up all the paper origami, putting it in a shoebox in the corner of the attic, and never looking at them again. So that happens. He now thinks of his like Chinese heritage as kind of like a memory of all the animals dancing around. He sees his mom in the hospital room, and basically she tells him like, "Don't worry about me, and I need to go back to work. You can do that." And he's like, "Thank goodness." And so he like flies back to work. And then his mom ends up dying. Let's see.
And she said on this special holiday every year, open up the box of the Paper Menagerie origami toys and just think of me. She's like, will you do that? And he's like, fine, whatever. But then he never does it. And then I think one year he does, and he realizes inside the box, his mom had written this story explaining how she came to be in America and everything that was going on. And he's like devastated about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he realizes that he was being a jerk and like really horrible to his mom, and thinking these poor things like his mom's not smart or she's not educated because she can't read or speak in English, and he thinks all these things about her. But then once he sees her history, he's devastated that he didn't spend the time to get to know her, and she lived her whole life thinking her son hated her. And I mean, I guess he did.
Yeah. Towards the end of the letter, it says she's writing this, and she says, "You know what the Chinese think is the saddest feeling in the world? It's for a child to finally grow the desire to take care of his parents, only to realize that they were long gone." Oh, which was a feeling she had because her parents had died. So yeah, he reads this letter. He, of course, is very touched and sad and all the emotions. And then he picks up the origami tiger that his mom had made him years before and refolds it. And then they begin the walk home, and the tiger has come back to life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think what we, for the listener, if you haven't listened to the story, the recap does not capture the magic of it.
It does not.
No.
This was a poor recap.
Or the heartache, or like the incredible symmetry of what the author talks about. So like that part where the saddest thing is for a person to want to take care of their parents but not have the ability, and so much of the mother's life and the boy's life are like echoes of each other.
Do you mean like she wanted to take care of her family, but she couldn't because they were gone?
She wanted to take care of her family and she couldn't because they were gone.
Mm-hmm.
But like more specifically, the kid once he realizes that he wants to take care of his mom, she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like for me, like with our mother, when I was in the house and you're an angsty teenager and you're just like so irritated or so like, mom, you're annoying, I don't want to, whatever. I was really mean to mom.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people are in those years very horrible to their mother. And then I was, when I was reading this, I was imagining, what if what if mom passed away before I had an opportunity to be nice and fix that relationship? And that's kind of where he left off. He was mean to his mom as like an adolescent, and then he never got it back on track, and then she was gone.
Yeah.
And that made me just...
Well, she died young.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like, she did not grow old.
No, but that, just the thought of that just is scary, right? Because that could happen to anybody, where it's very natural to be mean to your parents for a time, but then hopefully life is long and you're able to recover. But sometimes people don't get that opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, one of the other really interesting things in the symmetry of the story, right, is that he grows up feeling out of place. And as you find out at the end of the story, his mom grew up feeling out of place. And the letter that he reads at the end from his mom that tells like her life story and how she, when he was born, like that just made the world right. It was heartbreaking to then see, right, that. So early in the story, there's this big turning point when he's with his friend who has a Obi-Wan action figure that we talked about earlier. And the boy has his Paper Menagerie, these origami things that are living and breathing and moving on their own and are magical, right? And the Obi-Wan figure can like say a phrase and light up. And it's really detailed. And the boy is not impressed with it. And his friend is like, you should be impressed by my Obi-Wan. And then when he shows him the tiger, the boy is not impressed at all with the tiger, which to me is insane because it's a magic paper tiger. Right? And then what ends up happening is they get into a fight. The paper tiger gets shredded up and the Obi-Wan loses its head. And then what happens from that is that the neighbor doesn't value the paper tiger, right? This piece of this kid's culture, even though it's magical. And thus the boy himself starts to not like the paper tiger or his culture. And then you see it, and when you read the letter, the reason why the letter is in the paper tiger is because he doesn't value those things anymore. And his mom's waiting until he is at a place where he's ready to revisit it, right? To open the box like she asked on the Day of the Dead and remember her. And so there's this like and there's like a way to read this through like the immigrant lens of like acculturation versus like continuation of your heritage. And so when he acculturates to America, part of that is hating himself, hating his heritage, hating his chink eyes, as it says in the story. So I don't know. It just like what I love about the story is there's so many different points where you see this really beautiful circular thing that's going on as the author's writing it.
Well, this kind of reminds me of a saying where it's like people, as long as you remember someone, like they're not really gone type of thing. So kind of that idea of as long as you remember people, then they're still living on in your mind and other minds. And so the mom asked him to remember her on the Day of the Dead. And then when he finally does that, he gets the whole history of not only her, but also her family and her uncles and brothers and all these people. So I wonder if part of that is like now he gets to remember his mom and these people that he hasn't necessarily met, but he's still thinking about them, kind of keeping their memory alive a little bit.
Yeah. There, with that memory thing, there's an interesting thing because when he gets older, he wonders if the animals ever did actually come to life. Like, was his memory tricking him? And the mom, when she's in America, wonders, did I actually ever have family back in China? Because she's so lost, right? And as she looks back, she almost can't even trust her memory.
Mhm.
But what reminds her that she did have family was him, and that sort of thing. And then for him, his memory of his mother is in these things that she did. So there's like this other thing of like, when it comes to the magic of the animals and the magic of the story, or even thinking to like the longed for childhood that you hoped would continue forever, when things are bad, there's like a question of, well, was it actually there? Right? Did it actually happen, or am I just like forgetting and making it all up?
Do you think that other people can see the origami animals move?
Yes, because the boy
Hmm.
got upset when the tiger knocked the Obi-Wan Kenobi off.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I wasn't sure
So
if that was a tiger moving or if that was Jack moving it, but as
Moving the
he's
tiger.
describing it, he said, "Oh, the tiger moved."
yeah, no, the tiger's moving all by itself. That's why it's magical. Now, the way you reinterpret that is that now Jack's the one holding the tiger,
Mhm.
and it's not moving by itself, right?
Right.
But I think for the whole purpose of the story is that these things actually move. And like the mom said, like this is their folk magic from their home back in China. They would use these things for practical purposes,
Mhm.
to keep away mice or birds or whatever.
So, what do you think about the dad? The dad's kind of a minor character, but he's the one
Yeah.
who brought the mom to America. And
Yeah.
in her history, you find out that it was during the Cultural Revolution, and
Yep.
this was kind of her best option, was
Yep.
basically try to get out and get a stable life. And so the dad picks the mom, marries her, has kids with
Yep.
her, and you kind of find out towards the end that it almost kind of seemed like he never really loved her. She was kind of just like his live-in maid, cook,
I don't think
caretaker.
it's fair to say that he didn't love her.
I feel like I remember a part where he was just kind of like ambivalent to her a little bit.
I think the part
Maybe.
when Jack was saying, like, I don't want to speak Chinese anymore, all that stuff. And then the dad says something like, yeah,
He agrees with
wife,
that.
yeah, you need to start speaking English now. I've been too easy on you. And that line felt a little bit like, oh,
Like a dad in the 70s who grew up in the 50s.
yeah,
Is that what it sounded
maybe
like?
that is what it is.
Yeah, just kind of like the dad just kind of being like whatever about this woman who is the mother of his child and cooks and cleans and takes care of the house and does all this stuff, and he just
But
didn't
I don't
seem
think
very,
it's fair to say he doesn't love her.
I don't know.
I mean, but he's just not a big part of the story.
He didn't seem very appreciative of her. I was just wondering what your thoughts were.
I didn't get that feeling. But yeah, it doesn't say a ton. Jack also notes that he doesn't know a lot about his mom, but he also doesn't really know a lot about his dad. So that's just kind of interesting, which is maybe why he's not a bigger part of the story.
That's a
So
good point.
That's kind of interesting of like, is it, I was going to say like by rejecting one part of your heritage, are you, I don't know. I was going to say, are you like rejecting both? That doesn't really make sense though. Because I'm just wondering, like, he's not connected to his dad either. He kind of rejected both of them? Maybe?
What do you mean?
It just sounds...
He rejected both his parents?
Yeah. Because it doesn't sound like he has a good relationship with his dad either, or a relationship with his dad.
His dad in the story comes across as aloof, right? I don't know if I would relay being aloof into he doesn't love them.
No.
The mom says that she has a good life, right, as she reckons it. And so, I mean, we don't have any tales of wild romantic gestures, but the mom seems pretty, like, happy with her life as it is.
Yeah, no, I don't think... I think the dad loves, his wife and son just fine, and Jack... I'm sure loves his dad too. But what I was trying to say is that they just don't have a relationship. And so it's
Yeah.
not like Jack rejected his Chinese heritage and like cut off his relationship with his mom, but it's doesn't seem like he was embracing his American heritage or like really developing a relationship with his dad. He was just kind of going on his own.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like you could say that he was accepting his American heritage and that kids not caring about their
Ha,
parents or what their parents
that's
do,
true.
right? That's like very American. And then he wanted to become more American, right? And how he dressed and how he, talked and, what he ate, all those things, refusing to speak Chinese.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just pushing against I just don't think he had a strong relationship with his dad.
Yeah.
And he didn't realize he didn't have a strong relationship with his dad until his mom was dying.
Yeah, maybe that's
Well,
true.
I mean, I don't want to circle the drain too much on it, but I think what Chrissy is talking about is that it makes sense that he doesn't have a relationship with his mom because he doesn't want any part of the Chinese heritage, but then he also doesn't have a relationship with his dad, which would imply that like he doesn't have like a strong American heritage either. And then he just kind of goes off on his own and he's just aimless.
Well, yeah, I think that
Mhm.
is kind of what I'm getting at is like, is there like a deeper meaning to this, or is it just like they didn't have a relationship? But I just found a line where when they're at the dinner table and Jack says, like, hey, you need to stop speaking English, Mom. The dad says, you shouldn't treat your mother that way. But he couldn't look me in the eyes as he said it. Deep in his heart, he must have realized that it was a mistake to have tried to take a Chinese peasant girl and expect her to fit in the suburbs of Connecticut. So it could be that Jack is like, you made a mistake in trying to be a part of this heritage or like bringing this woman over. I don't want any part of this either. Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think this is right after, he had his chink eyes, right? Comment from kids at school, and his dad realizes that he's being bullied. I can totally see if I was in the dad's position thinking maybe this was a bad idea, right? Like maybe we can't make our cultures merge. And I think the other thing that's so hard for the mom in particular is she has no Chinese community in America, right? She's completely solo, which I think makes it probably so much harder than people who come to America but find other people with shared values around them.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a scene where someone was being rude to the mom in English and the dad was there and he like didn't say
The
anything about
neighbors?
it? Yeah.
Oh, the friends.
Was that like when they first moved in or something? Let me see.
It's when he's a little kid before he got beat up or teased, and the women are like talking about him as this little Chinese boy, and does he even speak American or English? And then the mom comes in, and they all just kind of stand around until the dad comes back.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought the dad
Just
was
kind of
there
some
and just
racist interactions.
yeah. Has there? Can you think of a time where you've not fit in somewhere? Obviously, we are all white in America, so not anything on race, but maybe on a different,
Yeah.
smaller dimension where you felt like you didn't fit in and you tried to dim that piece of you or something like that.
I think part of, I was thinking like, what's some of the connective tissue for the story for me and for all of us? And I think part of it is thinking, okay, so we are an immigrant family, right? We're several generations down the line of the first immigration, right? So we're not, I can't remember, was grandpa born in America or born in Italy? I always forget this.
It was our great grandfather who came over. So I wouldn't call us immigrant family at this stage. Maybe dad. I mean, I don't know.
Well, you're still an immigrant family. You're just several generations down the line.
Well, at that point, we're all everybody.
Yeah, we are cultured American citizens, right? Like I'm not saying that that's not the case, but
Mhm.
Like, we're an immigrant family.
Yeah.
I don't know. At least to me,
Yeah.
that seems to be
Yeah.
the best way how to phrase it. And so what am I trying to say here? So we're in I was thinking, can we really see it from that perspective? Not really. But if you were to make it broader and not just like geographical differences,
Mhm.
right, in parents, but an inherited culture from your childhood that is unacceptable to people around you. I think there's probably more there that the three of us can maybe identify, right? Like, we grew up in a very Christian, very like, this is how things ought to be sort of
Mhm.
deal. And so yeah, so I think that's certainly a aspect that we could maybe identify more with, depending on what groups of people we are with.
Well, I mean, speaking on that vein, just growing up in this like really ultra conservative and like we were homeschooled. So it's like you didn't get a lot of interactions with different types of people. And then we were finally like released into the public. And you're kind of like, okay. I remember feeling like I didn't fit in the sense that like I didn't know what was going on in pop culture. I didn't know like what songs
Yeah.
people were listening to or what movies they were watching, or we weren't allowed to do this or we weren't allowed to do that, and just always kind of
Yeah.
feeling a little bit like outside. And even if I wanted to do the things that the other people were doing, it's like I felt like they were quote unquote like bad or wrong and I shouldn't be doing that.
Mhm.
So I like hearing his story with school where he's trying to make himself fit in more and kind of hide some of his culture. I could definitely feel that component.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first thing I thought of when you asked that question was homeschool. So we all try to hide that we were homeschooled.
I know,
Makes you
just
feel like an
oozes out of you.
outsider. But when you find another homeschooler, you're like, oh my gosh, you get it.
Yeah.
And then
you
you're
know
like,
the
you're
VeggieTale
weird.
songs. Yeah, but you have a special weirdness only you two can bond on.
That's true.
So anyways, to answer your question, Kenny, I think there's definitely, like you said, things from our childhood that can make us different from others and even reviled or hated, right?
Mhm.
And I think society has not become a more accepting or tolerant place in the time since we grew up.
Well, we started this with Reddit.
Yep.
Me posing my opinion and me getting crucified. This minute, as we
Yep.
speak, people are probably writing me nasty grams for me to open in my inbox. So speaking of like, I would have never considered our family like an immigrant family, but if you think about it, we had our great grandfather came from, I thought Sicily, but it turns out and moved to America. And so you have great grandpa, grandpa, dad, us. And within those three generations, I think the only thing Italian about us is that we eat a lot of pasta and tomato sauce.
Sure.
True.
And it's kind of interesting. Like, I wonder how that came to be, like why our family wasn't able to preserve any of like that Italian culture.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a really interesting question to look into, because I think it would depend on like what kind of climate was great grandpa coming into, of like, was it accepting towards Italians? Was it not? So like, was his Italian heritage something to hide? Was it not? Is that why he did or didn't keep speaking Italian?
Well, this is I read an interesting article. I forget where I read it, but it was basically like how Italian people became white.
Interesting.
And the general idea is that for the longest time, there was a lot of ethnic hating of Italian people from the general more waspy whites.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that changed over time, but a big part of it was suddenly Italian people became white.
Well, I wonder, so I mean, because I do know that there was like a lot of like prejudice and stereotyping and not liking of Italian culture, also likewise with Irish culture. And I think it just I think with Ireland it had to do with just the influx of people coming in and people
Yeah.
not liking outsiders in general, because it kind of it changes how things were, and people like to keep things the same way. And so there was
Yep.
definitely a lot of prejudice happening in that direction. And I want to say it's similar for Italians. I wonder if our great grandfather, because he got like black lung, and that's why he moved to South Florida, because he was working in a mine. So I wonder if we had stayed more northern, where you have, like your New Jerseys and your like Italian pockets, would our culture have survived if you had more of a community to prop it up?
Sure, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's also that dad married mom, right? And mom's not Italian and she did all the cooking. And, I think so much of Italian heritage, at least in movies, is driven by the mom.
Well, and our grandmother is white, 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 white. Chrissy and I
Yeah.
are daughters of the American Revolution from her side. Like that.
Yeah.
That's how far
Yeah.
back her roots go. So I don't know how much Italian cooking they did, how much she did, do you know?
Probably quite a bit. All the kids, I feel like, cook a lot of Italian food.
I don't know if it's like real Italian or if it's like,
I don't know. I feel like it's, I mean, I don't know, I guess.
you went to Italy.
Oh, I guess I am the best reference point. It was all
No
pasta.
idea.
I don't know. That's all I got.
Something that made me so sad reading this was when they were talking about his quote, chink eyes, or like slanted eyes.
Yeah.
And that made me so sad because, and I say this like with sincerity, my husband Andrew, he has very like almond shaped eyes, and people have on numerous occasions asked if he's like half Asian. So they're kind of like that almond shape, and I just think they're so beautiful, and that's like one of my favorite characteristics that he has. And I just think, Asian eyes they're so beautiful, and to feel like ashamed about that, and there's like nothing you could do to change that.
Yeah.
And it's really sad. My heart broke for him reading that.
It's a very sad story.
It's so sad. I was devastated.
What is your thought on people moving to a country and not assimilating their cultures?
Like in general?
Like the mom. So like the mom lived there for 20 years and she didn't learn English.
Well, yeah.
She could have, but she didn't for whatever reason. Do you think she did that as a way to preserve her culture? Do you feel like she just wasn't interested or didn't see the need for it?
So, I mean, like, are you talking about for an individual, or are you talking about entire communities?
Like an individual. Like if you move to like another place and you're trying to.
So if I moved.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I moved somewhere where English was not a spoken language, right? And there's lots of places like that around the world. I would recognize that I need to learn the local language if I'm going to have successful interactions with other people, because we have to be able to communicate. Now, technology takes away a lot of the friction of not speaking another language, right? Because you can get some, you basically have a translator with you everywhere you go, which is neat. But
it also makes it
still
easier to learn.
Right.
It does. Right. My expectation is that I'm going to learn the language if I go there. Now, if I were to go to, so that's like as an individual, floating in a sea of a completely different culture, right? But if I go to a country and there's like an enclave of English speaking Americans or just English speaking people in general, right? Suddenly my need to learn the language is a whole lot less. And I can more easily choose not to learn the language right? And just kind of get by with whatever interactions. But then I have to accept that my opportunity for community is limited to people who speak my language.
So I agree. I guess I'm just wondering, do you think the son was a little correct with the mom, where he's like, you need to learn English, like you need to assimilate more?
I mean, it's not like it's not a wrong critique in the abstract, but it's coming from a place of hate, right? Not from a place of love. And so I would say he's wrong because of where it's coming from, not because of what he's saying. If, you know, if he's offering like a real critique of, hey, mom, it'd be really good for you to learn English. I bet you would enjoy life more, right? That's one thing. But you're ashamed that you're Asian and you blame your mom for it. And she's got to speak it to you, and then not having, like, at least in the story, right, any mercy for her,
Yeah.
or grace. Yeah, that's wrong.
Okay, well, so something else, like where we grew up, there's a lot of people who speak Spanish, and parents are first generation immigrants coming from their home country where they exclusively spoke Spanish. And something that I would see with some of my friends is that the parents would rely on the kids, even at very young ages. You're talking third, fourth grade, to be translators. And
Yeah.
with some of my friends, like they're in fourth grade and they're having to read bills to their parents and help them like just navigate life.
Yeah.
And even when the kids are 20, 25 years old, the parents have been here for a long time, they're still relying on them for that.
Sure. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes parents can indirectly, it's like they're kind of not taking advantage, but they're not doing right by their kids by not being able to learn those things on their own. Because part of the reason why she didn't want to learn English, I think, is because she's like, oh, you and I can just talk together. And it's like our like secret language. And, you know, nobody else knows what we're talking about. And I think there's something really fun and really cool about that, where it's like really special. But then it's also putting a lot of responsibility on a kid.
No, it totally is, right? And this is why it would probably be wise, if you don't have a community that you can exist inside of by yourself, for you to be learning the local language, whatever that is, wherever that is.
Yeah.
But that's not what she did.
Well, I wonder too, because I forget what time this is set. Anyone remember? It's like 90s or something?
No.
70s.
70s.
Well, that's when he met the mom, I thought.
Well, no, this is the Obi-Wan Kenobi character. The last Star Wars movie came out in like 1981 or something.
Well, he signed up for the service in 73. So we met the mom 73, 74. And then by the end of the book, I think we are in the 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Because he's an adult. But when he grew up was probably the 80s, late 70s,
80s. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, like, what were her resources to learn English? And also when she was carried away to, was it Hong Kong? She was beaten for trying to learn English. Like, I'm wondering if that's also some of the things where it's like, I don't want to do this. I have bad memories. And I'm not able to do it, maybe. And if the dad isn't encouraging her or like helping set her up with those things, like, that seems really hard to do on your own.
I agree with that.
She has a tragic life.
Yeah.
Her life is a tragic story.
And by the end, she does learn English for him, but he doesn't want to talk to her by then.
Oh.
Right.
Which is just so devastating.
Yeah. It's so sad.
But I could see where it's like, if I lost my family in such a tragic way, and then I don't have a community of other people like me, it's like, we're talking about memories and keeping people alive. There could be this idea where it's like, if I don't speak this language, no one will. If I don't celebrate these holidays, no one will. No one will remember, and it will die. So I can definitely empathize with like that feeling of wanting to keep your culture and your traditions going.
Right. Yeah, and I think there's a way to blend them, but also I think you need two people to blend it. And again, I don't think the dad was all that helpful on that front.
What's what I'm saying? I mean, I think he did love her, because there's also the point where after she died, it says dad aged rapidly after mom died. And so you can tell that he was like very sad. But I feel like in a lot of ways, she was kind of like his live-in like cook and maid and helper. And he wasn't really interested in getting her assimilated with the country club or making friends. Like he wasn't worried about that, which is like a crazy thing to think of. If you have like your spouse and your partner living with you and they don't have a single friend because they can't talk to anybody, you know, not to
Right.
Yeah.
take more initiative on to address that.
At the same time, it seems pretty stereotypical from people I can think of at that time.
That's true. If we learned anything from lessons in chemistry, is that the men's were not helping out the women's. they were not worried about them that much.
That is interesting to think about these stories happening in similar time periods. Although it was Lessons in Chemistry 50s or 60s. It was.
It ended in like mid 60s, and then this picks up in
early 70s.
Early 70s.
Yeah. That's interesting. I saw another symmetry thing like Sam was talking about. Because when he's visiting his mom in the hospital, it says, my mind was not in the room. It was in the middle of an on-campus recruiting season. I schemed about how to lie to the corporate recruiters most effectively so that they'd offer to buy me.
Oh yeah, that was like another great symmetry point. Yeah.
And it's like,
where is that?
It's
what page?
If you're looking, it's on page 35.
It's before his mom dies.
Yeah, but he's in the hospital.
Yeah.
Gosh.
That's such a great point, Chrissy.
Yeah.
That his life and his mom's life are very, very similar, right? She sells herself out to get a better life. He does the exact same thing.
Well, was hers was she forced to do that though? Because I thought people took her. Or no?
She like gets out and she's at like a fish market. And this lady's like, hey, you can go into this program and you can go find a husband and get a good life.
Oh, okay.
And where she had come from was garbage and not very good. So she said, deal.
Yeah.
Which, same. I would say
That's
deal
right.
too. I mean,
yeah,
my options are getting beat or taking a gamble and see what happens. And I mean, like Sam said, it's like overall, she had a pretty good life in terms of where she came from.
I think she was happy about the life that she had.
Yeah.
Based on her letter.
Right.
And like, given the fact that she was in such a terrible situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, her situation was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And okay, so he's thinking about lying to the corporate so that they'll offer to buy him. It also says when the dad was looking through the catalog, he had written all those letters to her, and the people had written back pretending to be her, and said that she was fluent in English, but actually she only knew how to say hello. Do you think she was like a part of that, or do you think she even knew what was going on? Was she privy to that?
I think she signed up for it, right? Because that lady told her to.
But like, did she know that's what was going on behind the scenes? Like, did she know that someone was pretending to write letters in her name?
My guess is no.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That
seems like she wasn't really, in the know of what all of that was going on.
So what I took it to be is that the company would talk to her and say, this is what he said to you. And then she would reply back, and they were just translating. And the line says, he wrote to her and the company passed their messages back and forth.
Oh, I didn't take it that charitably. I thought they were making up responses, but you're right. That does kind of sound like that.
Well, it says the people at the company had been writing her responses. Well, yeah, so I think you could take that to be like they were constructing it from the start or they were just translating it. But maybe if it was the latter, they would have said they were translating her messages versus writing.
Yeah. Interesting.
I think this also highlights like a big thing where it's like you judge people without asking their story, because right after that it says, what kind of woman puts herself in a catalog so that she can be bought? And that's part of the reason why the son like hates his mom, because he just has this low opinion about her, but he never even bothered to ask her why.
Yeah.
And it's like, how many people do you create these narratives or opinions on, and you don't even ask like, why are they doing these things that irritate you?
Yeah.
Do you think the dad knew all this? All of her story?
I don't know.
I feel like no. I feel like he's
I
like,
mean,
is dinner ready? Is the house clean? Check, check.
Yeah, because
Let's
he
watch
doesn't
TV.
speak Chinese, right? So like they really weren't communicating until the son was like, "Hey, you need to learn English." And then she did, and then he didn't talk to her. But maybe then the mom
Yeah.
and dad talked to each other. I don't know. But yeah, that's just
I don't
kind of
know.
interesting.
It's not in there.
But like when the dad's
Dad doesn't seem super involved.
I know. I'm just thinking that because when Jack asked the dad, like, "Hey, how did all this work out?" And dad tells him the story about how he looked through the catalog and stuff, like he could have contextualized it and been like, "This was where your mom was coming from." But he doesn't.
He does not.
So his name is Jack, and that's referenced when the women are being rude to the mom, and the ladies see him and they say, "Hey, what's your name?" He says Jack, and then they reply, "That doesn't sound very Chinesey."
Yeah, they're racist.
Well, yeah. But it's kind of like already from birth, his dad was kind of intent on not giving him any of his heritage, not giving him even kind of like a name that could maybe go either way. Like maybe you could go like a name like Kim, or I don't know. I just picked that up, but I'm sure there's a Chinese name that could have like an American sounding name too that they could have selected, but they picked Jack, which is, I don't even know if the J word is in Mandarin, like that sound. So
That's a really interesting point. I hadn't thought of that.
No, the dad is not very culturally sensitive.
no.
Were there any other symmetry things, Sam?
I think we kind of hit all the ones I can remember. I thought the one that you mentioned was a really great one, and I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But just it's a short story,
It's so
right?
good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and it's just like amazing how the author is able to, I think, pack so much in so little.
Yeah. Gosh.
So one other thing is that they keep talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I just realized this, that the author wrote for Star Wars.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah, well, I mentioned that in the author recap. He did some fanfic, or not fanfic. He did like some short stories for the Star Wars universe later on. So
he did legit.
Like legit. So he must just be a fan, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I always find that interesting when we do like these author things, like with Lemony Snicket and the accordion.
Yeah.
And you just kind of see them. Yeah, they just kind of sprinkle those things in. Okay, quick thing. He was born Year of the Tiger. So I just Googled what it means if you're born in the Year of the Tiger. And it says that you tend to be brave, strong-willed, stubborn, pioneering, outspoken, playful, enthusiastic, impulsive, impatient, and fearless with a strong sense of justice. Does that sound like Jack?
No. But we're not hearing a story of Jack's great qualities, right? We're hearing a story of like the real Jack.
Yeah. He does seem impatient. I think he seems impatient. He seems impulsive. He's outspoken. And I think he is strong-willed. I don't think he has a strong sense of justice until the end, maybe. I don't know. But I feel like that's a detail that the author wouldn't just put in just for fun.
Right.
Sure.
Oh, competitive. I mean, that could kind of be with him going to like fancy school,
Mhm.
wanting the best job. That could be something.
Seems like he should have been born in the year of the tiger.
No, he was born in the year of the tiger.
Oh, I thought you said dragon.
Did I say that?
I thought you said dragon. I may have misheard you, but I think the tiger makes more sense because the tiger's the main animal in the story.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
duh.
yeah. Derp, derp.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
so that like his inner self.
Oh,
kind of.
I wonder. Yeah, that's why she made it for him. Like
Oh
his
my
first
God.
one. He was first born the year of the tiger.
This all makes sense. It comes alive
Yeah.
again after he reads the letter.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I didn't put those together either.
Yeah, I didn't put that together.
But the tiger is those things, right?
Yeah.
Like the tiger takes out Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Wow. Sam was
Oh,
just
that's
watching us
true.
put those pieces together.
Oh my God.
Okay.
What?
Well, I thought she said dragon.
Well,
And-
I might have said it, but I didn't mean it.
Play the tape. Candy, in the podcast episode, you should like insert, and I did say dragon, or you should say, and Sam was completely wrong and wasn't paying attention.
Oh my God. Okay. Did you listen to the Let Me Snick It preview that I gave you?
I saw that you sent it. No, I didn't listen
All
to
right.
it. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
All right. Well,
Did you tell him there's a surprise? That's why I listened to it.
yeah.
Oh,
Even I listened to it.
Yeah, even Chrissy. And she gave it up for Lent. Okay, guess what Chrissy's Chinese zodiac is?
Oh, ox, I think.
When were you born?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I thought it was ox. I was born in 97.
Oh, I thought you were 98.
Oh,
Because I was like, that's the tiger.
oh my gosh.
So you could have been, nope, you're ox.
Ah,
Blech.
knew it.
So ox, okay. Patience and honesty. Very stubborn, hard to change their mind. They're usually calm, but when they're at their limit, they can turn into a violent person. I would agree with that last part because you're a bottler and you've not yet blown your top, but you've got now 25 years of pent up.
Oh
my gosh.
I've gotten a lot better at all that.
Sam, were you born in 89?
88.
88. 89
Really?
was the snake. I was like, that's definitely Olaf.
Count Olaf.
Sam, you're the year of the dragon.
Boom, baby.
Those are like the
That's
best
lucky.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People like plan to have their kids on the year of the dragon.
Yeah. Ambitious dreamers. Very smart and work hard with great initiative.
Boom.
I think I'm the monkey.
Not me at all, but yeah.
I'm the monkey, and I'm like, I very much identify with that.
Let's see. Is it?
Yeah. Playful and energetic nature. They enjoy having fun and bring a lively spirit to their surroundings. Monkeys often have a sense of humor and like to make others laugh. People born under the monkey sign are clever and quick learners. I'm like, that's me, 100%.
You know, these are actually pretty accurate.
Jordan's not here, but I think he's 91. He's the goat. Oh, he would love
Isn't he
that.
90?
Oh, is he 90?
Yeah, because if you're April 92, he'd be August 90, right?
Okay. Oh, man, all the ones before the years, except for Sam's, are like way better. Jordan would have loved to have been the goat, the greatest of all times.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, they had 2 goats.
Okay, well, now he's a horse. This one actually seems really good. They exude energy, vibrant spirit, athletic in mind and body. Jordan was a professional football player in college. Whether the mind or body, horses possess a natural athleticism, showcasing the restless spirit in various aspects of life. And all of their girls are very athletic.
It's true. They are.
That is very true. Wow. Chinese zodiac for the win.
Okay, so I've really derailed us, but I feel like those were all of our thoughts. Any other things?
No, I think this is an incredible story. I think of all the podcasts I've been on, this is probably like the best overall
Yeah,
that I read.
yeah.
Yeah, this is the top quality writing.
Oh yeah, how many bookies? 5. This is a
5.
5.
Yeah, this is 10 out of 5.
Yeah. No notes.
I don't know if it was that good.
This is, I mean, and maybe it's like when it's shorter, it's easier to keep it just tight. But even like the questions that I have, it's like it doesn't matter because I feel like that it's on purpose to lend the
Right.
reader to kind of fill it in and think about it. I think it's perfect.
I don't know. I think it's hard. It's hard to write small.
Oh, I agree. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying like if I am like, oh, well, what
As
about
the
the mom?
reader.
Did you do this? Did you do that? And it's like I think
Yeah.
that it's better that it's not every little thing's written out.
Oh, sure.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's a very tight story, and I wouldn't nitpick anything of it.
No.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to hear what a person who has that Chinese immigrant experience would say about this book.
Well, I can tell you that from the Reddits, one person said, the Paper Menagerie 100% captured my Asian American child guilt and made me sob like a baby.
Oh.
So there's at least some people who
So
very
sweet.
related.
So
I
sweet.
know.
That is really sweet. Do you have any other read-its on Reddit?
I do. Did we read it like Reddit? Only a few. A ton of people heard about it from LeVar Burton's podcast. I saw that so many times. I never heard of that before. So
That's where I heard
I know. Yeah. So when Lent is over, got to go to LeVar Burton Reads. So one person said, I listened to Paper Menagerie on LeVar Burton's podcast and it absolutely destroyed me. I was an emotional wreck for the entire day afterwards and think about that story frequently, even now. If you like short stories, check out the podcast. Lots of good ones being read by LeVar's silky smooth voice.
Yes. I think
Yeah.
that is a perfect summary. And
I
we'll
know.
link that. We'll link that in our show
Oh, the
notes.
podcast. Yeah. Pods helping pods. He needs more listeners.
I don't know that he needs more listeners. Well, I mean, you can always use more listeners, but I don't know that we can help him. He could help
Send
us
him.
greatly. I don't know that we have much to offer him.
That's incredible.
Always given.
So true.
And then the last one I had, which this is the only one where it's like, maybe we would disagree with this. I don't know. But they said the Paper Menagerie is the best short story I have ever read. The only thing I didn't like about it was the random info dumpy letter at the end that took me out of the story a bit. It was kind of melodramatic.
What?
I know.
Okay. Wrong. If I'm on Reddit, I'm asking them if they read the dictionary.
That is a terrible take.
That's one of the snicketers.
That is a terrible take.
Yeah. I respectfully disagree.
Yeah. Confirmed. Yeah. So overall, though, everyone was just saying how it's an amazing story, incredibly written, very sad, which I think is what we were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions for the author?
Yes. My big question is like, how autobiographical is
Right.
this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I would love to know that.
Yeah. That's kind of my big question too. Of like, what was it like for you growing up here? And yeah, just some of the same things. Was your relationship with your parents like? I did Google him immediately after to see like, oh my gosh, did his mom die when he was really young? And I was going to be super sad, but turns out she didn't from what I could tell. And I was like, oh, fiction. I was like, I can't
I love it.
bear to think of this happening, but I know it does happen. It has
I
happened.
know. Yeah, I think the inspiration, how he came up with it. I would think I'd also wonder, I think I would just want to know about his life, not really about the book.
Yeah.
His life just seems so interesting. I would just love to just hear him talk about how he was able to move to America at the age of 11 and then get to Harvard in a mere 7 years later, and then get all of these degrees in seemingly unrelated fields, and then turn it together into a career that blends them all together. I mean, just genius. I would love to just listen to him talk about his life.
He sounds like a super interesting guy.
Yeah. He really does.
Okay, so next up on the pod, we're going to do the house in the Cerulean Sea, which, Sam, if you want like just another beautiful story, that's a great one.
Okay, how long is it? Is it a long book or?
Longer
it's a short
than this
story.
one.
It's another
No,
short
It's not
story.
a short story.
Okay.
It's not a short story.
Oh no, it's not short. It's long.
It's like 200, 300 pages, like a standard novel.
Okay. I can get down with
I
standard.
got my copy from Amazon.
Oh, okay, great. And we're gonna pick up on that on, when did we say, Thursday?
I
no,
don't
you're
know.
out of
Our
town.
plans are up in the air currently. We may or may not be
Okay.
camping on Thursday.
Oh,
Well,
that's right.
on Thursday.
Okay. So it says 394 pages. Okay, fine. But it's really good. Really just a beautiful story. Okay, so that's all we have for today.
Hey, this was fun.
Yeah, this is great. Thanks for joining,
love it.
Sam. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. I wouldn't have read this book if it wasn't for you.
I know. It was great.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, bye. Love you.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Bookalicious. If you like this discussion, please rate or subscribe to our channel to help other book lovers find this content as well. If you have any questions or suggestions for future books, we'd love to hear from you at bookalicious.pod@gmail.com. As always, thanks for joining our club.